This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
You all ready for this? Dun 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 dun.
This is a sham.
No. Nope.
Y'all, just stop.
Welcome to DBL. It's Wednesday, September 29th. Happy Hump Day. I am Tori here with my good friends Erica and Al, and we do have an update for you on the Gabby Petito case. Now, the massive manhunt for Gabby Petito's fiance, Brian Laundrie, continues. And Gabby's family held a press conference yesterday. They talked about the foundation they're starting to help families of other missing people. Take a look at this. We have some technical difficulties here. We'll get to that video in a second. Speaking of Brian Laundrie's parents, they are now under the spotlight and have people outside their house filming video of them. And today, some people are questioning what's in this red backpack they were seen carrying into their home. Some even using megaphones to call them out. But here's the question. Is this fair? So we know Gabby, we know Brian's parents. We know very little. That's a big question mark, right? How far do you go to start getting them to talk? Is this obstruction of justice or leave them in peace? What do you think, Al?
I don't think. I think that's a question for the authorities. And I think this is what happens when we start deputizing every citizen, Erica, to go out on their whim and what they have a biased opinion one way, either they're guilty or innocent, and they're going to attack people. Because if we say this is cool, then it's cool for people to troll and attack the Sandy Hook family victims. When we say this is cool, it's cool to also go and yell at defense attorneys that are defending people that you don't like. So it's a very slippery slope just because of this one case. I don't know about opening that Pandora's box.
I don't know if this is like letting people say it's okay for people to troll Sandy Hook victims. I mean, if you're talking about the person who committed the crime, I think then that sounds more reasonable in terms of apples to apples, but that feels a little apples to oranges to me. I think in this situation, although it's a unfathomable situation for most of us, decisions were made, and when those decisions were made, they were, as you can say exactly what it's called.
Obstruction of justice.
Right. So therefore, I think that people who have been very invested in this case, and there have been a lot of people invested. People have obviously gone out looking for Gabby. I think that decision is now costing them this lifestyle.
I agree. I would want to know a lot more about them. Now, they have every right not to speak.
But who cares what you want to know? That's what the police are there for, our judicial system.
But the police let the guy get away.
That's their business. This is not our business. We are viewers of this. I get it. But everybody's going to be super invested in something. And the reason I just watched a documentary on Vice about there are people that think that the shooting in Texas didn't happen, that Sandy Hook didn't happen, and those people show up in droves at those churches and at those sites and harass those people and have been for years. So that's what I'm saying. What if this is just constantly going on with every incident we have? How are we going to police this?
Interesting. It becomes deputized. You're absolutely right. We are just going to let you guys know we're having a little technical difficulties with the video. I think Mercury is in retrograde.
Yes.
Stop it.
Excellent. But we do have some of that video back now. YouTube is taking some very strong action against anti-vaccine content. They're taking down several video channels from prominent anti-vaccine activists. And they're now also banning any videos that claim that commonly used vaccines approved by health authorities are ineffective or dangerous. Speaking of getting your vaccine, LeBron James confirmed he has gotten his. But LeBron says that he doesn't like to promote it. He doesn't feel personally like he should get it. Take a look at what he said.
We're talking about individuals' bodies. We're not talking about something that's, political or racism or police brutality and things of that nature. We're talking about like people's bodies and well-beings, So I don't feel like, for me personally, that I should get involved in what people should do for their bodies and their livelihoods.
If you're an influencer, do you have a responsibility to speak out, Erica, about vaccines? What's your platform mean if not in times of crisis like this?
I do understand what LeBron's saying because unlike things that he has had personal knowledge of in terms of racism and things that have come out of all the other social justice issues. He has personal knowledge of that. I can understand people's hesitancy to say that they are legal or medical experts, because essentially when you're having these conversations, you're either disseminating information from the medical experts, which is why we commonly have Dr. Coley on our show, because she is an expert. So I can understand where he's coming from in terms of, this is the choice that I made for myself. I'm not a medical expert based on how this affects me. I did this for myself, but maybe not making it a platform issue.
Right. What do you think about this? And I agree that it's okay to do your own research, especially after certain African Americans in this country have been lied to about the Tuskegee Experiment. I totally understand.
Right, but I do want to, since you brought up Tuskegee Experiment, this is the antithesis of Tuskegee Experiment. This was an experiment done in order to not allow black men to get the antidote for syphilis.
Correct.
So the idea that this is available to everyone is very different.
Very different. Thank you for saying that.
You know, just taking this away from COVID and just any other issue of importance of our time, you know, I was talking to a friend of mine that's famous, and, you know, people were asking him, because when everything was at the height of Me Too, people were asking him for comments, and he was like, I don't want to comment because I'm a dude that chugs beers on stage. I don't know, and I don't want to say something that I don't know is offensive. I don't want to put my foot in my mouth. And I think a lot of times we expect our celebrities, the people we've placed on a pedestal, to know everything. But I don't know if I would feel comfortable, you know, going over certain, you know, rights of people that have been vaccinated, or like, what do Christian Scientists, what's their responsibility with? I don't know. I haven't studied that. So if you give me 500 million followers, I don't know if I feel comfortable speaking on that. But that doesn't mean I don't have a feeling about vaccines. It's just I want to give you the right thing.
Right. It's like, it's what do you support, not what do you know, right? Like what medical expert you're not, but what do you support? I think you use your platform for good. You use it to support and spread knowledge. 1 + 1 is 2. This vaccine is science. I say spread the knowledge. That's my point of view, but come at me.
But some people think they are.
And some people think they are, exactly. All right, how many of you have been waiting for a home robot ever since watching the Jetsons? Huh? Well, Amazon is out with its first ever home robot named Astro. Astro goes on sale later this year for $999. It has all sorts of features like helping with video calls and playing music.
Thanks.
It also can deliver a drink to someone in another room. And look at this. It can even check to see if you left your stove on when you're out of the house. But it will not be able to turn off the stove if you did leave it on.
Okay.
I know. Astro can also patrol your house while you're away, just in case, let's say, raccoons get in to steal all your tasty.
Only if you live in a cabin. This is ridiculous. Erica, I'm going to give you the floor, but like, I don't need a Roomba with an iPad stuck on it. That's all it is.
Are you sure? Because we didn't think we needed an iPad.
What else does it do?
I didn't think I needed an iPad, and now I don't go anywhere without it.
Do the eyes creep you guys out? I don't like any fake robot with eyes being sad. I think that's weird. I don't like that.
It's weird, but technology is weird at the inception always.
Right.
I mean, everyone's like, as you said, we didn't think we needed an iPad. I think that my security system does enough of that.
Right.
So,
but they were. I watched the videos like, hey, let's dance, Rosie, or whatever and it's just like,
Rosie.
Go get a friend. Like, I get it. Use your technology for things, but like, go find friends.
Right.
Maybe ask it to download a dating app.
I think that's a great idea, but I will say that in 20 years, this conversation will look archaic.
No.
Yes, honey, archaic. And Astro will be here and be like, bad Al, bad Al.
That's the problem. It's going to be talking like that. I want it to call me honey.
Oh, boy. Coming up on DBL, King of Queens star Leah Remini does not mince words when it comes to leaving Scientology. You don't want to miss our interview where she calls on one celebrity specifically to speak out. And it's no secret people are fired up lately. We have the do's and don'ts to help combat America's anger epidemic.
Closed captioning provided by
Okay, so just so you know, people, Daniel.
Erica, we were talking.
Daniel Page says, I'm waiting for Al's joke on this one.
Okay.
Good one.
Thanks for
Daniel
interrupting.
Page. Sorry.
We were having a discussion. Obviously, Tiffany and Sierra have just joined us. Tiffany's been here a little bit longer. They both have on kind of similar things, but I was asking, what's the difference between a cardigan and a sweater?
That's what we're going to talk about.
And then what's a pullover?
Really?
I don't know.
That's so dumb. And by the way,
I don't know.
Also, do you guys remember
I don't wear
this
cardigans.
in Dumb and Dumber? Pullover. It's a cardigan.
What's a
thank
pullover?
you. Is that funny? You guys see?
But then how is that not a sweater?
Why are we still talking over this? Also,
Then why do
I
we
would like
call it
to
a
say,
pullover?
is Joe Rogan part of that list? If on YouTube he says that any FDA vaccine is ineffective,
like
he
all
will be
scotches or
banned, as
whiskeys?
well as, if you remember, Robert Kennedy Jr. is a very strong anti-vaxxer, and he will be banned from YouTube as well. So expect, this all happened about 30 minutes ago. Are you guys still talking about your sweaters?
Just explained it.
You want to tell them?
Yes. Okay.
That's more
Apparently,
important,
sweater is the umbrella, and cardigans fall under that umbrella, but they button up.
Yeah, buttons. Someone wrote buttons.
Pullovers don't button up.
Right, they're just a sweater.
I didn't know. I thought.
And in
sweater
England, they
was
call that a jumper.
Yes.
Now, remember in Dumb and Dumber when they go, pull over, and he goes, it's a cardigan, but thank you.
I've had thoughts. Do you think a movie like Dumb and Dumber or Ace Ventura could happen now?
What is it? Come over here and do it. Come here. David, just say the line right if you're going to make fun of me. Go ahead. What's the line? David, that's our stage manager. What's the line?
He says,
Ready?
pull over.
Do
He
it
says,
with accent. Go.
No, it's a cardigan, but thanks for noticing. Yeah, killer boots, man.
Great job, David. That was good.
I don't know how much time we have, but I wonder like if a movie like Ace Ventura or Dumb and Dumber could happen today, because I feel like it would get ripped apart on YouTube.
Ace Ventura was.
You know?
It's so when he's.
Real quick,
Welcome back to DBL. Does America have an anger issue? Should we talk? It seems like
When
every
you're condescending like that.
Sorry,
we do.
I'm sorry. It seems like every week we have another viral video of people getting angry on planes or starting a fight in a restaurant. But what are the right ways and the wrong ways to deal with anger? CNN has some tips from experts, so let's hear them out. Up first are the do's. Take a deep breath. Everyone do that right now. That can always help diffuse a tense situation. Do problem solve. So you should channel that energy into fixing actually what's bothering you. But experts say do not suppress your anger. They also say don't vent to others because it can keep the memories at the forefront of your mind. Nothing here surprises me but the venting. Erica?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just going to be real honest about this.
Talk to me.
Talk to us, yeah.
You know, a lot of us don't know what we're angry about. There's been so much that has just piled on us for the past year and a half and counting that it's like the simplest thing. Like, I lost my religion a couple weeks ago, okay? Completely lost my religion over a situation where my driveway was blocked. Now, did the man handle the situation correctly?
No, he did not.
No, because I was very polite and very respectful, although he was on my property. So when he didn't handle the situation right, I lost it. And I'm always the first one to be like, you need to manage your emotions, because if you have something to lose, people are gonna come for you, right? Mm-hmm. I couldn't manage it because honestly, I didn't even know what really set me off.
Erica, I am going to openly disagree with you on that. You told me that story. I thought you handled it well, maybe right up until the end.
The very end, yeah.
There's a point where, like, when somebody's acting strangely on your property, you are going to be in a heightened state. For me, therapy has helped a lot in terms of, first of all, not only identifying, like you said, what I'm really upset about, but after a year or two, you start to be able to do the steps in real time.
Yeah, right.
Not like 2 days later, like, I shouldn't have said that. In real time, you're like, let's take a break. Let's meet back here at 8:30, and when you say something, I'm going to repeat it back to you and tell you what I'm hearing. Like doing the steps in real time, and it sounds corny, but it really helps. And I actually used it yesterday. I was in a hurry to get here from the airport in the morning because I wanted to do the story with David and Daniel, who's missing his son. It's near and dear to my heart. And when I went to go through the gate at the airport, it was it was broken, and I found myself becoming really and I talked myself down in my car.
Good for you.
So like, yeah.
So you were aware.
Yeah, I didn't want to be in a bad place to start the week.
Good
but
for you,
a year ago, I would not have done that.
That's amazing. I know for me, my anger is usually at things I'm scared of. So I don't know if you guys at home, like when my mom's sick, I get angry. Or if Brooks is sick or is a little tired.
Brooks, your husband.
My husband, I'll freak out with anger. So mine comes to fear, and I really have to work on what are you clouding over fear with, and is that anger actually helpful?
But is that what we're seeing on this airplane? These airplanes.
I think a lot of people.
Fear of COVID, fear of flying.
I think fear is a big thing right now, and I think fear of people, fear of crowds, all of that plays into it.
It seems like a lot of people that make fun of soy boys and the libs for having triggers, but it seems like they have triggers as well that are clearly being hit because you're eating your mask on a plane.
Yeah.
So something triggered you as well. So maybe you should get to the bottom of what that is.
Yeah, and it's really
life is short.
Yeah, life is short. Get to the bottom of it and see someone if you really need to. Like Al said, therapy is very helpful.
Please get therapy.
Please.
Fix it.
Fix it. Coming up on DBL, Leah Remini reflects on finding purpose after trauma. Our really transparent interview with her is just 2 minutes away. Stay tuned.
Fed Loan Servicing and Granite State service millions of federal student loans for the Department of Education. In July, the companies announced that service will come to an end this year. According to the DOE, student loan service by the companies will be transferred to new servicers. Many impacted borrowers are wondering what they need to do before the change is made. So let's verify. Do impacted loans get transferred to new servicers automatically? Our sources include the Department of Education, the Student Borrower Protection Center, the American Federation of Teachers, and Kristen Evans, a student loan finance expert. A spokesperson for the DOE confirmed borrowers will not need to take any action to transfer their federally owned student loans from one servicer to another. However, to ensure the process runs smoothly, Kristen Evans has some advice for borrowers before and after the transfer.
Just make sure your contact information is up to date. Read all your notices, and then set up your account with your new servicer.
Doing this helps borrowers protect themselves if there are any errors during the transfer. According to both Evans and the DOE, errors have been an issue in previous mass transfers between servicers. In 2014, there was a mass transfer of loans that impacted more than 1 million people. According to a report from the SBPC and the AFT, that transfer resulted in 5 million separate servicing errors. So we can verify that yes, the loans from Granite State and Fed Loan Servicing will be transferred automatically. But our experts say there is some housekeeping you should do to make sure that the transfer is as easy as possible. With your Verify, I'm Ariane Till.
Welcome back to DBL. Ever wonder if I smell good? Well, I do, and Leah Remini loves it. Earlier, we sat down with Leah to talk about how she feels about other celebs leaving Scientology, as well as her upcoming projects. And we had a little fun talking fashion and fragrance, too, in today's Chatting with the Stars.
Actress and advocate Leah Remini. Hey.
Hey.
Hi, you guys.
How are you?
I'm good. How you guys doing?
We're feeling it.
I'm digging the pattern on that shirt.
Are you digging it?
I like it. I do.
Yes, Leah.
I love it.
Okay, so Leah, you know, you wear so many different hats. I love you as an actress. I love you as an advocate, but also very important, you're the executive producer on the documentary Allie Raceman, Darkness to Light on Lifetime.
Winning gold medals doesn't take away the pain of what happened.
How powerful was it for you? Because I know that it made me cry. So you watching her testify before Congress, knowing everything that you're involved with, how did that make you feel?
Extremely proud. I think it's so important that people take their place where they can have a voice and then pass the torch to give others a voice. It's very important. And one of my favorite quotes from Frankl, and it's finding your purpose. You know, when you experience trauma extreme trauma, that you find a purpose in your pain is extremely important in life. And look, not everybody can do that work, but for those who do, I'm always proud to support it, and to be able to produce a show for her was an extreme honor. People are and have spoken out and continue to fight the fight. And I applaud them.
You're really the face, Leah, of leaving Scientology. And recently, actress Laura Prepon announced she no longer is with the church. So did she reach out to you? Did you reach out to her? Did you guys talk?
I reached out to her, and like I just said, not everybody who has a voice uses it. And I'm a firm believer. I was a vocal Scientologist. I got people into Scientology. I promoted it most of my life. For those of us who were in the public eye and who were speaking on behalf of Scientology, getting people into Scientology, I feel that we have a responsibility to do the work when we find out that none of those things that we were doing was not only helpful but damaging and very harmful to people's lives. I think people have a responsibility to do their part. And listen, I chose to do the work, so I knew it was going to come, what was going to come with that, which was Scientology coming at us and trying to destroy our lives, which they do under, they justify this behavior by a series of directives and policies called Fair Game, which I do a podcast, Mike Rinder and I do a podcast called Fair Game, to talk about these things. And, you know, some people, like Laura, feel that they don't have a responsibility to speak out. Do I respect it? I mean, not really.
I love that you don't mince words. It's important when it's coming to people's lives.
We're going to switch gears here because this is actually a really good thing. Season 2 of People Puzzler.
By the way, love a suit. Love a suit, by the way.
Thank you.
See, she's returning the compliment.
I appreciate it. I really do. I feel like her shirt pops off that white wall. It looks great. So we're going to talk about...
You have him blushing, Leah. He's blushing over here.
Listen, do you wear... Here's my other question for you. Do you wear cologne?
I absolutely I do. It's a little.
Oh, he smells
I
so
love
good.
you. I'm in love. I'm in love.
Oh yeah.
I'm in love.
That's my dad. You never leave the house
You're
without
all
cologne.
good. You're all good in my book. You are not. There's nothing you could say to me right now that would annoy me. Go ahead.
Get in there, Al.
Well, hey, look, I am excited. I like that. I appreciate the compliment, and I have a compliment for you.
Yeah, where's your suit, by the way? What? So wait. So how does your co-host what's going on? Could I get a shot?
Yeah.
Of
He wants to look at Jeffrey.
So. So what? You just thought like I go with the shirt. I don't need a tie. That's my thing. I don't wear.
We're trying to switch it up. We can't be twins over here.
Do you wear cologne or no? I feel like you don't. Because
oh really? I thought you were gonna make. I definitely do.
Get a tie on.
We're gonna get into one of those Doug and Carrie fights right now.
All right, I am jumping in. I'm just gonna say this. I'm excited. Season 2 of People Puzzler just started, and you were very candid. You were like 9 out of 10 questions. I don't know. Like, how impressive are these contestants? What's the best part about being on the show?
Well, I love hosting people. I mean, people who know me really know me. Like my friends, they know that I love hosting. I host every holiday at my house. I invite people I don't even know. I'm like, yeah, bring your second cousin. I just love people around. When these people come on, they're just happy to be there.
All right,
Leah,
we have a hard out in like 10 seconds. We need you back on the show.
Yeah.
Wow, I don't need the attitude. I'll tell you that.
Leah, thank you so much for joining us. We love having you. DBL Nation, check out Season 2 of People Puzzler, which just premiered and will air weeknights on the Game Show Network. We'll be right back.
Thank you guys so much. Bye, you guys.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by...
Whether you love it or hate it, pumpkin spice season is here, and people are using the flavoring in all sorts of foods and drinks. But despite its popularity, some people are still confused about what actually goes into the pumpkin spice seasoning in a pumpkin spice latte. This person on Twitter claims there isn't any pumpkin in pumpkin spice. But is that true? Let's verify. We spoke to a spice expert, a licensed dietitian and nutritionist, and spice manufacturer McCormick & Company to get to the bottom of this.
There is no pumpkin in the spice, but it's a blend of different spices that historically were used with pumpkin in pumpkin pies or pumpkin puddings.
The blend usually contains 4 to 5 other spices you probably have in your cabinet. cinnamon, ginger, cloves, nutmeg, and allspice. Spice giant McCormick & Company first introduced a commercial pumpkin pie spice to the U.S. in 1934. The goal was to flavor pumpkin pie all in one container, rather than bakers needing to get each individual spice. So we can verify, no, pumpkin spice does not contain any pumpkin. But despite the lack of pumpkin-y goodness in pumpkin spice, both Frisch and Andrew say it's still possible the latte drink that you order may in fact contain pumpkin these days. And as it turns out, we can verify that the PSL at Starbucks has both pumpkin spice seasoning, which does not contain pumpkin, and real pumpkin. It says so right here on the drink's ingredient list. With your Verify and my very own pumpkin spice latte, I'm Ariande Till. That's not bad.
Welcome back to DBL. Did you know that scammers are targeting lonely singles on dating apps? Have they no shame? It's time for a Security Alert, sponsored by LifeLock. The scammers start by manipulating their victims who are blinded by love into investing or trading cryptocurrency.
How do you make that shift?
Now you might be thinking, I'm safe. I don't use cryptocurrency. Well, it's likely some of these victims didn't either. According to the FBI, this scam has netted over $130 million in profits for the scammers. So how do you protect yourself? It's simple. Never, ever, ever move money based on the advice from strangers you meet online. But if your information has been breached, LifeLock is here to help. LifeLock keeps you and your digital identity secure from cyber criminals. Call 1-800-439-9017 or visit lifelock.com to learn more. Smart advice for life, huh? We'll see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.